Hi and welcome to Lisa's Stamp Studio. My name is Lisa Curcio.
And my name is Gina Holly. I'm the executive assistant here. Today we are finally showing you the brand new studio.
We're super excited to have you here with us. Now we purchased this home a few months ago and we've done some renovations on it, and that's allowed us to customize this craft room for our needs. Now one of the things I'm excited about sharing with you is not only the layout for the craft room, but to give you lots of organizational tips along the way.
Now down in the link description below, you're going to be navigated to a blog post that's going to have everything that you see in here linked there. So you can just click on that, and if you like something, you can check it out through that link.
It's wonderful because all the resources are there for you. What do you say we get started?
Let's get started.
So we've just come through the French door opening to this room. And this is immediately to your right-hand side, and this is where I designed and I film. Now I've used a large black Teflon pad here, and I do have a non-grip surface underneath it. It's just one of those Rubbermaid non-grip surfaces to help keep this from sliding. This black surface is wonderful because adhesive will not stick to it. In addition to that, it makes a really great filming platform. Here you're going to see that my work surface is really within my reach, and one of the things we get asked an awful lot about is this magnetic strip here that's against the back wall. This is actually purchased from Ikea. I'm going to try to find the resource for you and link it, but I am not certain they still sell it. You're going to find it in the kitchen section because it's actually used for knives, but I find it works well for my scissors. The reason I have two OttLites here is specifically for filming as well as photography. My iPad is always close at hand because I like to see what the viewer sees while I'm filming or I'm in a live stream. Over here on this side, you're going to see that I have my Stampin storage holder for my ink pads, my dye-based markers, and my ink refills. This is for my Stampin Blends alcohol-based markers, and is also from Stampin Storage. It's a great resource if you're a paper crafter, and I will be sure to share those links with you down below. I store my ink pads in alphabetical order, which works well for me, but obviously color family can work well for you if you prefer that system. The counters are granite. I really struggled with that, but I'll be honest with you, I'm loving it because it's completely easy to maintain. Any embossing powders, dust, small flecks are easy to clean up with a paper towel. I keep a small storage bin here of clear blocks for my stamps, and I do have a larger inventory of these for when I'm designing multiple cards at once. And then just a small magazine tiered rack here for my catalogs. The next section here is where my trimmers are, but I do want to point out one thing for you before we go too far. The heat tool is actually here, and one of the things we did in the studio that I love is we placed outlets also above the granite line and below the granite line. So this is actually plugged in behind here, which doesn't make it obscure. The trimmers are here and they are laid out how I use them. Now, if you're a paper crafter, you probably have more than one trimmer as well. This is a large Carl cutter. This will cut numerous layers of cardstock at a time, which I love if I'm creating a lot of card bases. So I use this when I'm cutting larger pieces at a time. My Fiskars 12-inch is wonderful if I'm doing one or two sheets, larger size, but my very, very favorite is my Stampin Trimmer because it contains both a scoring and a cutting blade. It also has a clear cutting guide, which makes it super easy to cut those small pieces as well as those large pieces. And this trimmer also has an extended arm for those larger pieces of cardstock. So if you're a scrapbooker, we've got your 12 by 12 pages covered as well. I want to walk through the storage space here underneath the counter because I think that's something that we all struggle with in our craft room. This top drawer houses all the things that I keep for my die cutting and embossing machine, such as plates, foam mats, and die brushes. The second drawer houses my coloring tools. This would be daubers, sponges, spritzers, brayers, all in one convenient place. The one thing I love about these cabinets is the solid wood construction as well as the depth of the drawers. The bottom drawer holds all my replacement cutting blades, as well as my healing strips and some other maintenance items for my trimmers. This middle section is actually a drawer with a cabinet because I needed to have a cabinet space to store larger areas that would not fit in the drawer. The top drawer houses everything for heat embossing. So it has my embossing powders and all the accessories right at my fingertips, closest to the counter, closest to the heat tool. Underneath that, I store my grid paper and my simply scored scoring tool because they're oversized and this is the perfect location for those deep and large items. This section is probably one of the most used. This top drawer, I'd like to deem a junk drawer, but basically it has the essentials of what I'm going to use. My stapler, scratch paper, my piercing mat, my silicone craft sheet, and my embellishments and extra scissors are in this drawer. This next drawer houses all my spools of ribbon. I love to have an array of colors to help make the design process a lot easier. The bottom drawer holds all my adhesives. Now it looks abundant, doesn't it? And that's because I use a lot of adhesive because I'm constantly making cards and designing, and I love the depth of this drawer. This drawer is narrower than the others, but very much like a junk drawer, but a necessity. Scotch tape, paper clips, rubber bands are kept in here, things that are close to my fingertips. The second drawer holds my daily adhesives. It also holds the liquid glues as well as the tear-in tape and some washi tape. The bottom drawer is stocked with dimensionals, mini dimensionals, and glue dots. We use quite a few of those here in the studio. Believe it or not, one of the things I get asked often about is, well, if you did customize outlets, why is there an outlet here? Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I wanted this one here for several reasons. First, I wasn't sure if I had friends over stamping with me, if I was going to need 2 higher outlets for heat embossing. And I love it for vacuuming. I don't have to bend underneath the counter, unplug something that's already plugged. The next thing is my Kallax unit, and this is the thing we get asked often about the most. I absolutely love it. Now let me tell you that there are actually 2 pieces here put together. The Kallax unit is actually a 4x4 unit that you see here at the bottom. My husband, who we fondly call Bob the Builder because the man can engineer anything and build it, he took a 1x4 unit, turned it on its side, and bolted these pieces together. I also will tell you we did not lay baseboard along this back wall so that the unit could be flush against the wall to prevent any tipping. And it is anchored to the wall because cardstock is very, very heavy, and we didn't want it to be front loaded. I store my cardstock in the Stampin storage sorters. Now these are all 12x12 sorters because I wanted these cubbies to look uniform. Now you're probably wondering, are these all 12x12 cardstocks? And the answer is no. The vast majority are 8.5x11. And you may also be wondering, well, how did you keep them from falling all the way to the back of the sorter? And that's where Bob the Builder's skills come in. I prefer to keep this in color order. So I start with my whites and vanillas and do a rainbow type fashion. My 12x12 designer series papers and specialty papers are here, and then my seasonal papers are all the way here to my left hand side. Down below I keep extra storage, so I have extra clear blocks from when I'm in a major design phase. I have a very large tin with scrap ribbon because you know crafters, we don't like to get rid of it. We know we can use it again, right? So that's where that's kept here. I keep my dies in a basket. This works really, really well for me. The one thing I love about Stampin' Up! Products is they provide you with the clear envelope for the dies. It does come with double-sided tape that holds them in place, and even if that tape doesn't work for you, they slip down inside a sealed envelope. I prefer to take a Sharpie marker and label the name of the die on the front, which makes it easy for me to see which one I'm selecting here from the basket. Next to it, I have a small storage box from Ikea. These come in different colors. I use the white here. And this is where I keep my embossing folders of various sizes. Next to it, this little small storage basket, I can't even tell you where I got it from. I think it was probably Walmart or even Home Goods. But I keep my little recipe sheets here for when I make a card. Now if you're wondering what the recipe sheet is, it actually is just a small piece of paper that just reminds me what stamp set and accessories I used to create it so that I can recreate it. Envelopes are kept to the back. Now down below I have some stationery items, as well as some things just decorative and some file pieces. But let's talk about the baskets all the way across the bottom of this unit. These are also from Ikea, and I will tell you they are immensely strong, so I encourage you to consider getting these. I love them for extra storage of my cardstock, because you can see that this only holds about 2 reams of the Stampin' Up! Cardstock at a time. So about a total of 48 to 50 sheets will fit here comfortably. I do not have any trouble with the cardstock bowing. But because I do so much paper crafting, I needed more room for cardstock storage, which is how this comes into play. The basket pulls out because there's an opening here, and although the cardstock is extremely heavy, these baskets have held up like a champ. Not in a color order, but just specific so that I know where the pinks are from the yellows and the greens, and I do have those filled across the bottom. This is another Ikea piece. As a matter of fact, this entire wall is all formulated from Ikea products. This is a 4x4 cube, meaning there's 2 shelves across the top, 2 shelves around the bottom. I loved it to divide up these 2 sections. In addition to that, it gives me a space for paying something really pretty that I admire to help inspire me. But these are the champ here in the studio. These bins are also from Ikea, They are plastic, but they're really heavy duty, and the one thing I love them is they actually hold accordion file folders that hold my scrap cardstock. The bins across the bottom are also Ikea. I did mix and match them just to keep with the theme and keep some interest in texture, and they actually hold excess product. This Ikea unit is identical to the one I just showed you that holds the cardstock. The only difference on this one is my husband, Bob the builder, added the Ikea attachments of the doors and the drawer inserts to those cubbies. This allows me an immense amount of storage. Now I was really concerned because this room did not have a closet, but I have to tell you, I have filled this with no trouble and there's tons of room to spare. Now I didn't want this video to be too lengthy, so we won't go through every single one, but I'll give you a quick idea of what I put in here to help you with your storage needs. If you have excess rolls of ribbon, perhaps you have a button collection that you use on your quilting or your sewing projects, cellophane bags, rubber bands. I actually even have a chocolate drawer for when I create 3D party favors. This is a great way to store all of those things that typically would be in boxes or totes in a closet. This cabinet is one of my favorite custom features in the Stamp Studio. I'd like to give a huge shout out to Matlock Homes of Pasco County, Florida. These two cabinets were actually purchased in a design phase for our kitchen, and we decided to go with bigger units. And rather than return them, the contractor said to me, "We would love to give them to you. What would you like to do with them?" And I literally did not have an idea until I thought, I know what I'm going to use them for. I struggle with osteoarthritis in my basal joints of my hands, which makes locking and unlocking the flat punches very difficult for me. So I need to store them open. In my prior studio, I had a rail system where I would hook the punches on, but this allows me to store them on a shelving system, and I'm loving it. So the knobs do not match, but we actually picked something that was in the same finish, and the cabinets are entire wood construction. The shelves have been spaced 3 inches apart where they could be. Some are a little bit deeper because of the bottom base. And all the punches are stored here. Now the thing I love about it is all the Stampin' Up! Punches are identified on the outside edge as well as on the top, which makes side storage like this perfect. So I have this and this full of punches. I think you'll agree stamping with friends or family is always a lot more fun, but I wanted some space in this room that wasn't overwhelming to the creative area, but provided some ample table space. I purchased this at Kane's Furniture. It was $199 for the set, and I will be honest with you, it is of amazing construction. Now the leaves drop down just to make this a little bit more user-friendly when I'm in here designing, but they do pop up, which gives us a nice 36-inch round table. These are also from Ikea. These are their DVD towers, and they hold the Stampin' Up! Clear mount cases wonderfully. You can see that even my wood mount stamps will fit in here with the Stampin' Up! Cases. I have a lot of stamp sets. Now you're probably asking, is there a system on how I store these? And I do store them alphabetical, but I do keep my greetings separate and my seasonal stamps at the bottom because then I can interchange them based on what I'm designing. This is my Foldio light box, and I've used lots of light boxes over the years, but this has been my favorite. It has a magnetic construction that's actually very sturdy, so it's easy to set up and to take down. It has an LED light system, and the thing I love about it most is there's an opening here at the top that can be covered or left open, so you can photograph from the top down as well as photograph from the front. And then I just use 12 by 12 designer series paper or cardstock, and sometimes even small props to add to my photographs. The island in this craft room was also custom made. It actually houses 2 base kitchen cabinets. The center has been removed. In addition to that, the base has actually been reinforced because it houses a granite top as well. I love this because this is the spot that my die cutting and embossing machine sits on. The other thing I love about it is the storage that it provides. These cabinets are pass-through from this side clear to this side, so there's no wasted space in the center. We hope that you've enjoyed the tour of the brand new Lisa's Stamp Studio.
And just as a reminder, if you're interested in any of the items that we have in this studio, please use the link in the description box below to navigate to our blog post to learn more information.
We look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great day.